Hey YouTube, Sushi Attack. I am bringing you my first place locals Mimighoul deck profile. I really like flip cards. I bring you guys Labyrinth stuff, but today I'm doing Mimighoul. When Konami was trying to figure out an archetype to make, they said, "What cards does Sushi like? Let's make him a custom archetype." Well, he likes Earth monsters, he likes level 1 monsters, he likes flip monsters, he likes monsters that can play under Tikaboo, and all of those things. I like all of those things. Those are my favorite parts of Yu-Gi-Oh! And they just decided to make this deck for me. So naturally, I got 2 cores, and I've been playing with it. But I'm just going to go over the profile. The first card we go over is I play 1 Mimighoul Master. He's only really needed at 1. Just because he's not your best normal summon, but on like a turn, on your opponent's turn, if you've definitely locked him out of normal summoning, or even like turn 3, he's really nice, just because he can't be destroyed if you control a Mimighoul, and then with the field spell, he's up to 3,000, so he's pretty big. But I do only play him at 1. You could play him at 2. I think 3 is way too bricky. This is not what you want to be normal summoning. The actual best card of the deck is Dragon. Dragon is full combo on his own. Dragon says when he's you can summon him. All these monsters can summon to your opponent's field, and so what he does is when you summon into your opponent's field face down, when he's flipped face up during the main phase, it's a Raigeki essentially, and all face up monsters they control except for Mimighouls, then you gain control of this. When he's normal summoned, grab a Mimighoul spell or trap. Usually you're grabbing Maker. If you already have Maker, you're grabbing Room. If you already have both of those, you're grabbing the field spell. Just kind of fitting whatever situation is needed. He's level 1. He gets up to 25 with the field spell. The next card, second best monster, is Archfiend. Same thing, summons to your opponent's field face down. When he's flipped face up, he forces your opponent to discard a card, you get to draw a card, and then you get to take control of him. And then when he's normal summoned, he's a non-target Book of Taiyu, so he'll just flip something face up. Also level 1. He's 19 with the field spell. And then, I'll honestly say, this was one of the MVPs of locals. He's not the best. You play him at 1, but arguably, I kind of want to play 2, but it's like deck space. When he's same thing, summon to your opponent's field. When he's flipped face up, you banish the top 3 cards of your deck, summon 1 to your opponent's field, and then you gain control of this. And then while he's in the field, your opponent can't target your face up spell cards, so they can't cosmic anything. They have to clear this first or negate it, and then use a resource to do it. And then he gets pretty beefy. He gets up to 22, also level 1. I am playing the hand rip version. I did end up hand ripping somebody for 5 whole cards on my first turn going first with this card. I did it essentially twice. I did it to the Voiceless player and I did it to the Runick player. It was absolutely disgusting, and their draw for turn was Lightning Storm. And they couldn't play it because they controlled this face-up monster. They tried to shift it to attack. I ended up playing Room, summoning something to their field, booking this, and then because Summoning Curse was up, banished the Lightning Storm out of their hand. So they just had nothing. But when this is flipped face up, you're forced to banish 2 from your hand, deal 800 to your opponent. It's negligible. It's mandatory, so it has to activate. And then I'm running the cash package. Kashtira Unicorn and 1 Fenrir. Unicorn in this kind of deck is infinitely better than Fenrir. Because you're doing this turn 1, ripping a card out of their extra deck. And this kind of gives you deck knowledge. If you don't know what you're playing against, you're going to rip something out of their hand or out of their extra deck. This is only good if you open up both, or if you're able to special summon this while you have something like the Kashtira continuous spell. Banish this, play the spell, and then later on in your combo, get this back to field. Because by the time you're activating this, you're not going to want to banish. The only card they're going to control is this. You're not going to want to banish this because you're going to want to recycle this. This is only good going into your opponent's turn if you somehow figure out a way to summon it, but that doesn't happen. Rip a card out of their extra deck, banish something face down. This one's infinitely better, just because it's active going first. And it also kind of acts as a buffer. Think twice about using that Ash Blossom. 3 shifter. We don't care too much about our graveyard. We kind of do when it comes to the spell and trap, but we're turning off more decks than it really hurts us. And then going second, this is just kind of a saving grace against most decks. I actually only saw him once during the whole locals, and it was against the Voiceless player. And then 3 Ash Blossom. We all know what that does. Then we play 3 of the field spell. This lets you, not on activation, but once per turn, you get to grab a Mimighoul from the graveyard or the deck. Typically, you want to grab from the graveyard so that your makers are usually live. This also says, with the exception of the turn they're summoned, Mimighouls gain attack equal to their defense. And then while a player controls a set monster, they cannot normal summon. And monsters that they special summon cannot attack the turn that they're special summoned. Really great card. Nice, like, built-in floodgate. And the recursion every turn is great. Next, we play 3 Maker. Reveal 2 flip monsters from your deck. Flip monsters, not Mimighoul monsters. So it has some other uses, like grabbing that Fire Sorcerer. Grab 2 flip monsters, reveal them, and randomly summon one of them to your opponent's field, and then optionally, you can special summon a Mimighoul monster from your hand. Typically, if you have a good combo, you can grab Fire Sorcerer and either Archfiend or Dragon. If you already have Archfiend, you grab Dragon. Because hopefully you summon the Fire Sorcerer and then summon the Archfiend to flip that Fire Sorcerer up. And then while it's in the graveyard, if your opponent special summons a monster, you can flip a monster on the field face up. 2 Prosperity. We really don't want to brick on it, just because we're really only ever going to use it once, but we want to see it. What you banish is going to be wholly dependent on what your hand is, because in this build you can go for a Shaddoll window line, but if you don't see the line going first, obviously you can just banish the 2 from your extra deck, so that's 2 slots. Thrust. Most of the time, this is going to be instantly live. If they Ash, this is live. If they Veiler, if they do any monster effects, this is live. And if they have none of those, if you flip a Mimighoul face up on their field, this is live. You get to set something or add something to hand if they still control it. Then we only play 1 Thrust, mostly for deck space. You could arguably play 2, but you can search it off of Thrust if you really need it. We all know what this does. The Terraforming, grab the field spell. 1 Birth, grab it off of Unicorn, because after you link off for IP, you can just bring back the Unicorn. And then I opt for 2 Summoning Curse. You want to play your whole combo, set all your cards, and then activate this, because if you special summon the card to your opponent's field, they banish a card out of their hand. And then if you flip Archfiend, they discard a card out of their hand. Then you activate Unicorn, rip something out of their hand. If you summon Fire Sorcerer, you've essentially ripped 1 from their hand from the special summon. The Fire Sorcerer rips another 2, and then if you have any more Mimighouls to summon to their field, you rip another one. And then it just gets better if you have 2. If you really don't need it, obviously, if you only want to play the 1, you can. I want to see it. Optionally, if you need banish fodder, you can always just play 1 and then banish the other. But this kind of forces interaction, and because it's mandatory, if they special summon something that searches the deck, this activates as Chainlink 1. Their search activates as Chainlink 2. They'll search, then this will activate, and then they have to banish a card from their hand. If that's the card they search is the only card in their hand, they have to banish it. And then I opt to play 2 Room. I don't think you need more than 2 Room, and you don't want to really brick on having more than 2. Essentially what this says is special summon a Mimighoul from your hand or deck to either side of the field. If you do it to your field, it's face up. If you do it to your opponent's field, it goes face down. And then non-target books a card. And then while it's in the graveyard, you can banish it and then target any number of Mimighoul cards and return them to hand. I did this to dodge a Cosmic Cyclone on my field spell, and then bounced all my cards back to hand. And then just reactivated them. And it was real nice. That's really good. Now, a tech card, reverse reuse. This is really great. This essentially almost acts like as like a Mimighoul room, except this summons them from the graveyard. If you happen to get a Fire Sorcerer into your graveyard, either by attacking it or if they link it off so that they can start summoning again, you can essentially just set this back to their field and have to force another hand rip. And they won't be able to flip it up that turn just because that was the turn that it was summoned. So they're blocked out of normal summoning again if you have the field spell. And then if you do have room, you can always summon the Archfiend effect, flip the Fire Sorcerer, and then banish 2 cards out of their hand. This came in handy. And then you lock the link zones if you summon the Gryphon. 3 Imperm, we know what this does. And then Tikaboo. We play under this so well. It's one of my favorite floodgates. This can be main decked. Even if you're going up against something like Branded, it'll keep them from summoning out another dragon. Keep a Fallen of Elbaz out. You can always optionally side it out. Going into game 2 and 3 if you're playing against Branded. But it's main deck just because Ubel and Fiendsmith are a thing. I'll go over the extra deck really quick. Shaddoll Winda. A couple people asked how we get her out. We do Shaddoll Construct. She requires 2 flip monsters. So any of your Mimighoul monsters that you get back. And then if you happen to do Cerberus and grab a dark monster, whether it be like a Ubel, a Ubel monster, a shifter, your own shifter that you have in your hand, if you decided not to use it, you can use her effect, fusion with herself and the dark monster that you either got off of Cerberus or your shifter to get her. After that, obviously, if they kill her, you don't get it back. But if you figure that you can't get a line into her, you would just banish these off of Prosperity. We'll play Fucho, unaffected by card effects, and then you can detach 2. Detach 2 of the flip monsters, it makes reverse reuse live, and then you survive going against Tenpai. Even if they try to flip it to attack, it's unaffected, so it'll just stay in defense mode. Zeus, because we make Zeus super easy with these guys, attack directly. Alternatively, you could also use Fucho going into, if you're going turn 3 against Tenpai, you could start with Fucho, attack, then do the line, do the thing, and then Typhon. We know what Typhon does. We'll start with these links. First off, we're playing Anima. We play only level 1s. This is a great way to clear a board. We play IP because IP goes really well on the boards. We make her very easily. SP, we all know what SP does. 2 tech cards, Geonator. If you happen to open the Fire Sorcerer, you can always set her right here, and then summon something here. And then, or if they have a Mimighoul or another monster here, you could switch control of them, give them that Fire Sorcerer, and then you can just link this off. And then the other tech, the Dragon, Beauregard Dragon. Quick effect to flip something face up, and they can't respond. So no card effects, no response. And then if you do this and flip a dragon, and dragon blows up their board, and you get the dragon, you can, if you would like, you can always send a summoning curse. You can send one of your face downs to reborn something that you destroyed off of dragon because it was destroyed that turn. So if you need to turn off your floodgates, if you need to turn off something, you can always send it. access code, we know what he does. Apollo USA, and Gryphon. Gryphon is really great in this deck too, because if you're able to make it and lock a zone, summon it, and then use reverse reuse or Mimighoul Room to summon something right here, they're locked. They can't even flip this. They can't activate monster effects on the field, and you've just locked them out of the game. I'll go over my side deck. Kind of did some things last minute, but I did Droll, keep them from adding. I did one Chaos Hunter. I couldn't figure out what I wanted for the 15th slot. And just in case Runick was a thing, kind of wanted to play this. Or if Kashtira was a thing, play this. 2 Dark Rulers, just because this deck struggles going second. A Duster and 3 Cyclones, because Runick is a thing. It was one of my matchups, and the Cyclones came in handy. 1 D-Barrier. You could play 3, but I figured because I'm playing Thrust, I can just search this. And then 3 Evenly Matched. This deck actually goes well into Evenly Matched. It's really hard for them to play Evenly Matched against us, especially if we give them Fire Sorcerer, or if we give them some face-down cards. They can't activate this. But that's my deck profile. If anybody has any questions, I would say I'm still new to the archetype, but I've been playing it a lot. Konami really made a custom archetype for me. It's all my favorite things. Can't wait for the new support. You guys take care. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.